This is Katrin with Disability Rights New York. Welcome to our podcast, Empire State of Rights Closed Captioned. We are here to bring you information on the most relevant topics regarding disability rights and advocacy. It's National Disability Employment Awareness Month, so for the duration of October, we will be highlighting subjects relating to employment for people with disabilities. Today we have Alyssa Galea, staff attorney here at DRNY, and Nancy Nowak, staff advocate at DRNY. They are here to discuss how the subminimum wage provision was included in the Fair Labor Standards Act and what Section 14C means today. Hello, how are you both?
Great.
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks for joining us. Now, Nancy, I'll start with you. Can you start by explaining the Fair Labor Standards Act and what Section 14C is and how it affects people with disabilities?
Sure. The Fair Labor Standards Act is a federal law passed in 1938. It governs a number of employment practices, including minimum wage, overtime, employer record keeping, and youth employment standards. Section 14C is the portion of the law that deals with subminimum wages. It permits employers who have received a certificate from the Secretary of Labor to pay certain workers less than the federal minimum wage. Most workers whose wages are impacted by 14C are individuals with disabilities.
And Alyssa, can you clarify for us why Section 14C was initially passed and who is it still affecting today?
So Section 14C was originally included in the law as an incentive for employers to hire war veterans with disabilities. But today it's expanded to include individuals with disabilities more broadly. The current phrasing of the law covers individuals whose earning or productive capacity is impaired by age, physical or mental deficiency, or injury. The vast majority of employers who hold 14C certificates are sheltered workshops, but employers in integrated settings are also able to obtain these certificates.
So, Nancy, we're talking about being able to pay an employee less than minimum wage. And for our audience members out there, could you clarify what that actually means? People may think that maybe it's $1 less or 50 cents less, but can you talk to us about the actual dollar amounts sheltered workshops are paying their employees?
Sure, no problem. Basically, what happens is the individual in these places are typically doing types of production work. So they might be putting pens together or collating papers, perhaps seal wrapping something. And each one of these jobs, they study the person to see how long it takes for them to complete that task. And then there's a formula that's used to identify how quickly their productivity is. And then that amount is reduced from the actual minimum wage of the state that the 14C is in. So someone could really be only making sometimes just dollars a day. It's typical that these folks are going home with paychecks that are maybe $10 for a week.
And they're spending many hours there.
Absolutely. We found many of the individuals that work in these sites are actually spending more money to get to the site, driving, buying gas, and then they're really not making any money when they're there.
And Alyssa, you mentioned sheltered workshops. For our audience, can you give us a definition of that? And what is the intention of a sheltered workshop?
So a sheltered workshop is a type of separate employment setting where typically only individuals with disabilities are the employees there. And it's seen as a separate environment where they can get more structure and support than a competitively waged workplace.
And Nancy, back to you. Some states and employers are moving away from 14C, and there's a lot of energy on the federal level around it as well. Can you speak to, how this is being addressed and where we are currently, even in New York State?
The federal government sets the minimum level for wages. States can actually raise that baseline. So some states have already started to pass laws restricting subminimum wages. There's most recently, Alaska actually has outlawed the use of subminimum wages. Some individual employers are also choosing to give up their 14C certificates. So on the federal level, the issue of subminimum wages is included in the Raise the Wage Act. And the Act's main purpose is to increase the federal minimum wage. but part of the act would require the Department of Labor to phase out 14C certificates. No new certificates would be issued, and the minimum wage for certificate holders would increase in stages until it catches up with the federal minimum wage. New York has not banned subminimum wages, but they are definitely looking at that. So it is something that is being discussed.
And Alyssa, where are we in the process with Raise the Wage here in New York State? Can we expect to see the effects of this act soon? And once it's passed, how will it in particular affect people with disabilities?
So the Raise the Wage Act was passed by the U.S. House of Representatives this summer. It still needs to be passed by the Senate and signed into law by the President. If it's passed as currently written, the phasing out of subminimum wages will happen over a period of 6 years, so it's still going to be some time. Some people are worried that the end of 14C will mean a decrease in job opportunities for individuals with disabilities. But while 14C is intended as an incentive to employers to hire individuals with disabilities, it hasn't changed the fact that individuals with disabilities are more likely to be and underemployed and have lower salaries than individuals who do not have disabilities. So while this time period gives everyone an opportunity to implement other measures to help ensure that more individuals with disabilities have access to gainful employment.
Alyssa and Nancy, thank you both so much for your time today. It's been wonderful speaking with both of you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Empire State of Rights Closed Captioned has been brought to you by Disability Rights New York, your source for disability rights and advocacy. If you enjoyed our program, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this post. If there is a subject you would like us to discuss, please email podcast@drny.org or comment below. Tune in next Wednesday, where we'll bring you more information on disability rights in the state of New York. The closed caption version of this podcast is available on our YouTube channel. To listen to more Empire State of Rights Closed Caption, follow us on iTunes and Spotify.